The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $50 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
You know, it just evolved where the trees attracted more birds, and then I learned more and learned about the lucifers.
The father to son sometimes needs something to grasp hold of, to have a common interest.
And so on the cave tours here, what we do is we give an opportunity for people to get just a little taste of what it's like to be a cave explorer.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
We're in Brewster County, Texas, and we're in the southern part of it, nearly adjacent to Big Bend National Park. This is a curve-billed thrasher. And what's interesting is they're not known to nest in nesting boxes, but they do here. Well, I've got boxes up all over the place. That's just comes with having a bird sanctuary, I guess.
Meet Carolyn Old Johnson. This birder loves her water.
We're gonna pump some water into a concrete tank where it'll last a lot longer.
She needs all this water for the ponds, and trees, and birds.
There's a blue grosbeak.
You see, this part of West Texas is a dry, prickly desert that doesn't get much water. But there's plenty here at the Christmas Mountains Oasis. Carolyn and her late husband Sherwood started building this oasis in the 90s.
And I told him how we could put in some diversion dams, and he just hopped right on that, was out greasing his equipment the same day. And so we started out with one tank that wasn't nearly big enough.
They ended up with 3 dams and 5 water tanks. Almost 20 years later, and here we are.
It's a refuge for birds, butterflies. Just give them a little dry seed.
She's built this oasis out of gravel and creosote and put in some wetlands to catch rainwater. And the birds also use the water. And she's created truly an oasis out in the desert.
Here's a black-throated sparrow just came into the feeder. He sticks his little head in there. I can be sitting here just looking at the same old stuff and bet money that nothing interesting is going to come along, and there, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there's a lifer. But it won't happen if I'm not sitting here looking. So what do? You sure don't get much work done, that's for sure.
Plenty of work's been done here as well. Deep in the Chihuahuan Desert near Presidio, in the driest ecoregion of Texas, is the B.J. Bishop Wetlands, a river wetland ecosystem. A habitat that's pretty much dried up around these parts.
Originally, back when the Rio Grande was still healthy with good flows, you had ebb and flows that created estuaries like this. Well, those no longer really exist. And so we had an opportunity here working with the city to put this in and create something unique.
Terry allows the city of Presidio to discharge its treated wastewater here. And the people of Presidio get their first ever birding wetland.
Yeah, those are the white-faced ibis.
As farmland turned into wetland, I never would have thought it could do this. This was an amazing, creative idea. And in a year and a half, it has just really increased the numbers in species of birds that we're being able to see here.
If you look over here, right on that vegetation there's some kildee working the water there. You'll see them moving their feet, and they're eating the bugs that come scurrying out of that. Must be great for kildee, because I've never seen so many in one place here in the Presidio Valley.
This man-made wetland is a win-win
They spend the winter here.
for the birders and the birds.
I am surprised at how many species have cashed in on this. I really am, and the numbers. The birds know it's here, so they're coming in.
And to have one here, have one in Presidio, and to have it be such an integral part of all of the environment here is pretty unique, and it's just pretty awesome.
We are at the Sandia Wetlands on the west side of Balmorhea. So we're happy for anybody to come.
A bunch of teal flying right there.
Ellen Wynick's place is another birding oasis in the desert. Sandia Springs flows through her land, and she decided to set up her own birding wetland.
You can see the killdeer moving. There's at least 3 of them in there.
We have a water right on that spring, and it just made sense to use it to make a pond. Really been a lark, been a lot of fun.
We are in the desert, and water is very limited. So these little patches, they may not seem like much, but the birds do find them, and they could get really heavy use.
You wouldn't believe what's flying over the desert until you create the gas station, the stopover site for these birds to refuel.
Would you say try something different in each pond?
Yeah, absolutely. Something different in each pond would be good. Hey, look at that. What is that? That's a peregrine. No, it's a prairie falcon. He would eat ducks. So
Really?
look,
He's that big?
yes, oh yeah, he would definitely take a blue-winged teal. Creating these wetlands out in the desert are a magnet for wildlife. I mean, every critter needs water.
So thanks for coming. Sometimes too
And
much,
so to
sometimes-
bring water, open water to the desert is fantastic.
Back at Christmas Mountain's oasis, Carolyn is getting her place ready for a special guest.
You know, it just evolved where the trees attracted more birds, and then you flip them real quick. And then I learned more and learned about the lucifers and how rare they were and special they were. And if everybody's real still, they'll come into the feeder.
Carolyn's oasis is home to one of the rarest hummingbirds in the United States.
Basically, this is a lucifer central.
The Lucifer hummingbird has a very tiny global range in Mexico. It just peeks into a little part of Texas right here. And he's very special because if you want to see that bird in the US, you need to come here. He's just sitting right there near the tip top of that shrub in the background.
Okay, the top of this tree right there.
He's back on the perch there. If you can get that, that ought to be whoops. You know, when I originally did it, it was only for my enjoyment, but it didn't take long for me to realize that I had to share it.
It just sat down. Oh my goodness.
The male has a very long, beautiful purple magenta gorget, has a fairly long and drooped bill.
That's the lucifer. That's a lifer for me.
Well, then it is for me too.
This is the most amazing place. Beautiful. It truly is an oasis in the middle of the desert. It's a daunting task to have come out here and to create such a haven. Thankfully, she did.
It's fantastic to see landowners doing this and bringing back this wetland habitat out in the Chuan Desert.
For Carolyn, she's happy to be behind the scenes so the lucifer can shine. And folks will continue to enjoy her West Texas wonder.
To me, this place is wonderful and special, and I know it won't be here forever. you just can't not share it with people that love it. That's, to me, what life is all about.
This project was funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife Restoration Program.
Solana Ranch has been in our family since 1950. We're truly blessed to have such an incredible piece of property. The ranch has really brought me and my dad closer together. A father to son sometimes needs something to grasp hold of, to have a common interest, and this has been our common interest. The last time we were here, the turkeys were right there just strutting like crazy.
Mike has been very instrumental in helping me. You've got to start them young. Then as they work with the land, it becomes much easier for them to be attached to the land.
About an hour north of Austin, these 8,000 acres provide a bit of breathing space in one of the fastest growing areas of the country. But at one time, the only thing to thrive here were goats.
It was a dusty cedar break that you couldn't ride a horse through, and I tried too many times as a child.
48.
The Michaux family has worked hard to restore habitat and make this a working ranch for cattle, hunting, and wildlife.
This is one of our current projects here.
One of the unique things about Solana is that they're really good at doing a lot of things.
Well, one thing about the cedar and brush control is it is a constant effort.
They have a tremendous Rio Grande turkey population, healthy deer numbers. And then a lot of these areas that you've opened up where you've exposed the soil, taken out the juniper, you're going to see a big response from the native plants. Great dove hunting year in and year out, but also provide habitat for a lot of animals throughout the fall.
One special animal found on the ranch is the Salado Creek salamander, a threatened species found only around Salado, Texas.
They like the little gravel that's underneath this watercress. It gives them protection. It also keeps that water really crystal clear.
The ranch has a conservation easement that will protect the salamander's habitat.
I didn't know I was going to love salamanders until recently.
And then there's the time Clint Black shot a video here.
We had a house that my parents built that had a swinging door. That was fun.
Yes, I'm leaving here a better man.
The Michaux cultivate fields for an active dove hunting operation.
Managing the ranch is kind of a labor of love. I mean, you've got to really love what you're doing. These plans and these programs that you put together are not something that you get a real quick, instantaneous feedback on. Sometimes they take, months, years to come to fruition.
There are very few large families own ranches anymore. That's what I want to pass on and stay on the ranch, continue to improve it, and pass it on to the next generation.
Coming here as a kid was my favorite place. It was my favorite place in the world, and it still is. And it's been a great joy of mine to be able to bring my kiddos out here and show them the same things that I grew up with, the same things that my dad taught me.
There you go, buddy.
I don't have any elbow pads, so.
Is it okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you try to find the center of Texas, you're going to be very close to Colorado Bend State Park. We're in the northern end of the hill country. At Colorado Bend, we have typical activities that you would find, such as camping,
Perfect weather.
and fishing, and hiking and biking. But one of the unique things at Colorado Bend is caving.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Whoa, would you look at that?
Usually when you're in your campsite, you're on a trail, you don't typically think about what is 20, 30, 40 feet beneath you. But what is beneath you is another world, and it's a world that is ready to explore. And so on the cave tours here, what we do is we give an opportunity for people to get just a little taste of what it's like to be a cave explorer.
This part's a little slippery. Yeah. So if you want to just sit down and use those 3 points of contact.
Clear. So we do get a lot of questions and concerns from potential cave tour participants about how challenging is it. You can turn around and kind of climb down like you would on a ladder. Is it too tight? Is it going to be too dark? Is it too scary? When you start a cave tour, it's not something you normally do. There's going to be just some discomfort, maybe a little anxiousness.
Yeah, right there, people tend to sit down and just kind of scoot down.
That's normal.
Oh my God, we're...
Yeah.
And that's part of this whole process, is working through that. It's a challenge, right? You'll be on your hands and knees. You're going to get dirty, perhaps muddy. You're going to get a little tired. You're going to have some sore muscles tomorrow. But what you're learning along the way is not only about the history and the geology of the place that we're going into, but also you get an opportunity to stretch yourself, to do something you haven't done before.
Small.
And a lot of people hit that challenge and they come out the other side feeling a sense of accomplishment.
This is small.
She's alive.
Woohoo!
That's good. Very good.
Good job.
That's pretty awesome, I swear. Thank you. It's pretty awesome.
Nice job.
In addition to the cave tours that we offer here at Colorado Bend, we have a partnership with a cave exploration group, the Texas Theological Association. The TSA group comes out about once a month, and what they're providing for us is updates on our caves. They will give us maps of the interior of caves, GPS points of new caves that they found. This is the spreadsheet that contains all of the caves that have been documented in the park. And so far we have over 500 entries.
I keep looking at this thing. Over the years, this is washing open more and more. Yeah. This is how we find caves, see? You find interesting things like this.
The TSA has an agreement with Texas Parks and Wildlife where we provide volunteer labor for the park. I love digging. We're finding caves, we're mapping caves, we're collecting information on the caves and karsts that helps the park better manage the resources they have. So we're doing inventory work, basically.
There is an entrance to the cave underneath us. Under this ledge, you crawl in. There's an entrance right back here. This is a little collapse area, and this is the kinds of things we look for. If we were to pull the rocks out, it would probably go right into that same fissure.
We feel like we're the stewards of the caves.
We're at the last gasp entrance to Los Petzo Cave system. It's a fissure. We've got to climb down and out at the same time.
Got to be careful here because the floor starts to disappear. One of the things that appeals to me as a scientist, I like the adventure. I like crawling and climbing and, you know, squeezing through little things. That's great fun. Caving's kind of interesting because it's a team activity. You never go caving alone. You go in with multiple people.
You're almost there.
And everybody looks out for each other and helps each other out. But it's also a highly individual activity because we can't tell you where to put your feet or, you know, what to grab when you're climbing. Now we're going to see how flexible you really are. We can offer suggestions, but people have to figure it out for themselves. Ooh, we've given you a challenge here, huh? What do you think, Bryce? Any final words?
Almost there.
Okay, give me the distance from RH15 to RH16. We're going to map part of the cave today.
Station RH15, light on station.
Okay.
Distance 3.45 meters.
Okay. When you're ready, give me that azimuth.
Azimuth 82 degrees.
Okay. 82.0. Great, thanks. Sometimes, you know, the cave goes and goes and goes, and then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, it's only this high. But you can look, and it continues. You can see. It's like, yeah, you know, that looks like it might get wider down there. If it looks like it's humanly passable, we push through it. This is not the place you'd want to be like during a hurricane.
Yeah.
This is nature's storm sewer right here. A lot of the surface of the earth has been mapped, but under the earth, there's places where people have never seen. And when we're the first ones to see that, even if it's some grungy little nasty crawlway, that's still a real exciting feeling.
All right, guys, at Colorado Bend, we have over 400 caves in this single park. Basically, anywhere you look throughout the park, there's probably a cave somewhere beneath you. Once you go on a cave tour like this, you start to see a new world. You never look at the world the same because you realize the world doesn't end at the grass or the pavement right below me. There's actually a beautiful, amazing world beneath that.
Isn't this great?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $50 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.